Hi folks, welcome to your mwis Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. We've got a generally chilly outlook across the mountains into the week ahead. Some variation from day to day in terms of temperature and freezing level, but most of the mountain terrain will stay frozen. There will be some further snowfalls at times, a bit of freeze and thaw as that occasionally turns to rain, particularly at lower levels. Then as high pressure starts to build next week, it's becoming a drier story. Here's the chart for Saturday. Quite a bit of weather going on, a frontal system moving eastwards, quite a windy day again across the mountains, gales for a time at least. The wind speed may just vary through the daytime. Now some early snowfall across the highlands as the front moves eastwards, but that will soon clear. Some dry conditions developing then across a good part of eastern Scotland, but showers will then follow into the west as this trough moves in, and that will be some snow and some hail again to lower slopes. Those may become quite frequent and heavy in western parts of Scotland, chance even of a rumble of thunder in places. Some rain, some hill snow across northern England and Wales. Across Wales, maybe turning to rain up to the highest tops for a time as the warm sector moves through and temperatures temporarily rise, but the freezing level will then drop from the west through the afternoon and evening with some icy surfaces then developing. So around the middle of the day, you're looking at a freezing level across Scotland, around 700 or 800 metres, but that will be lowering from the west across all regions by the end of the afternoon, so that it's sub-zero from low elevations upwards across a good part of the Highlands, maybe around 500 or 600 metres just near to the west coast, and you're back sub-zero above around 500-600 metres too across most of England and Wales into the evening and the night. Hard frost forming once again across a good part of the Highland Glens. Now for Sunday daytime, we stay sub-zero across the mountains, just a bit of a lift of temperature across England and Wales in particular, also around the west coast of Scotland, where it may rise to 800 metres or locally above. Maybe a touch higher across Wales through the afternoon, but notice how a good part of the Highlands stays sub-zero from low elevations upwards, and a frost forming again overnight into Monday. Just to pick up on that weather sequence through into Sunday, overnight the showers from later Saturday will continue to come into western Scotland, a few around western coastal hills, England and Wales as well, with some further snow and some hail around, and likely to start Sunday morning with various clusters of showers then affecting many western hills, maybe something quite organised and constant in terms of the precipitation for a while, turning to rain and sleet around the coasts at lower slopes, but over the hills and mountains still some periods of snowfall. That will tend to break up and push southwards across Scotland through the middle of the day, but some fairly frequent showers may well be around over northern England and North Wales, even onwards into Sunday afternoon, so be prepared for some showery conditions and some snow and some hail being around here. For Scotland though, later in the afternoon, mainly a dry story. Now, quite a complicated situation in terms of temperature and freezing level into next week. For Monday, we start sub-zero to quite low levels, particularly across Scotland, and maybe sub-zero across the mountain tops in northern England as well. But a warm front coming in from the west will see those temperatures lift above freezing point towards many higher slopes as we go through the daytime. Much higher terrain, though, remaining frozen. As we go to late Monday into Tuesday, temperatures fall again from the northwest across Scotland, so dipping back sub-zero above 800 metres, and may well be even a widespread frost forms to lower levels by dawn on Tuesday. And for Tuesday daytime, we then see a general freezing level somewhere around 700 or 800 metres across Scotland, 900 metres or so for northern England, and maybe a touch higher across Wales. Now I'll swap over to this chart for the ongoing story. This picks up from the middle of the day on Tuesday. This shows temperatures corresponding to around 900 metres in elevation, and we're around freezing point then, as you can see, on Tuesday daytime. As we move onwards into late Tuesday into Wednesday, likely to stay hovering around freezing point at that level across the hills and the mountains, maybe just going a shade above freezing, and a few spots around the north and northeast of Scotland may just go a few degrees higher. But the mountain terrain into Wednesday broadly staying frozen across those higher areas with existing snow cover still in place. Temperatures then may just go just above freezing point to many higher summits, and that is going to be an ongoing theme, I think, into the second half of the week. As high pressure becomes established, we may find some inversion conditions setting up where there's overnight frost into valleys and glens, where the lower elevations may well stay at least partly frozen much of the daytime, particularly out of sunlight, whilst the mountain tops may well go a few degrees above freezing point. But again, the terrain staying broadly frozen. Some slight thawing in places, but a very icy situation may exist on the snowpack that exists on higher terrain, a little bit of thawing and refreezing, just aiding that icy texture as we head into the second half of the week. So basically, expect air temperatures to go a few degrees above freezing on the mountains, but the higher terrain to stay largely frozen with just a slow thawing of any snowpack. The weather sequence itself is quite awkward as well, and I won't try and get too much detail out of it. Stay up to date with our latest information as we go day by day. Basically for Monday then, as we were mentioning, a front comes in with some rain and some snow on its leading edge for a time. Just how much is left on that front as it passes eastwards is a bit uncertain, but expect some precip to be around, turning to rain to higher slopes for a spell later Monday. Then some showers around across mainly western mountains in Scotland on Tuesday. Again, some snow mixed in with those, some rain at lower slopes around the coasts. And then as the high pressure area becomes established, it's generally a dry situation into the middle of the week. A few dregs of bits of dampness maybe on some western hills, and some areas of low cloud which could be rather stubborn, but some high tops may well get above any of those low cloud banks. In terms of wind speeds, typically west or southwesterlies, could be rather gusty at times, not even the strongest winds on the highest tops. Some passes and corries may see some gusty conditions as a stable atmosphere gets set up beneath high pressure. Strongest winds northern Scotland, whilst in the centre of the high, for England and Wales, very light winds may become established by the middle of the week onwards. The exact position then of the centre of that high by the end of the week and next weekend is uncertain, but overall it looks as though a fairly settled weather pattern may well take us into the weekend. So some complexities in there, but some opportunities as well for decent days on the mountain. Stay up to date with your local forecast every day on our website. That is your Friday planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.